Hello, welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric. Today we're going to do another board game unboxing. It's going to be Healthy Heart Hospital by Victory Point Games. This is a press your luck hospital game. It looks very, very interesting, but kind of like not really a bag building game, but you're picking cubes out of a bag and trying to cure patients before they earn prestige and money to improve your hospital before they pass away and stuff. You get negative points for every patient you don't save that dies. So it's a game we've been looking at for a while, as usual. We tend to try to look at games quite a bit before we purchase them, since we cannot get every game we want. But this is a great solo version of the game, in which you play multiple doctors, and it also is a co-op game. So without further ado, let's show you what's inside the box. It's a very thin box, is the first thing I noticed about this. So let's read all about it here. So it says, "Welcome to any whoops." Very small box, as I said. Welcome to any town, USA, where people grumble about quality of their health care, but still show up at Healthy Heart Hospital, hoping they make a smart decision. They made a smart decision. Much has been said, and even more has been written about the previous administration's haphazard management of Healthy Heart. In an effort to save the hospital, you and your allies, among its leading physicians, have staged a recent clinical coup and taken over the hospital to restore its prestige. However, actually managing things from the inside is never as easy as it appears from the outside, and juggling responsibilities at Healthy Heart Hospital can quickly turn even the noblest healer into a money-grubbing pragmatist, cynically looking for a place to hide the victims of your quote-unquote care. So it's definitely got a humorous view to it. Does not take itself seriously, which is a good quality of a game. It says, does your team have what it takes to bring Healthy Heart Hospital back to its former glory and becoming hard-hearted in the process? Healthy Heart Hospital is a cooperative board game for 1 to 5 players, played in rounds, and each player spending actions to treat and hopefully cure the various patients that come pouring into the hospital each round. Patients are represented by cubes of various colors. Color represents the type of illness, while the number of cubes represents the severity of the illness. So you can see it's 1 to 5 players, 60 to 90 minutes, ages 13 plus. So there we go. So let's open it up and check out what's inside. Alright. I'm not sure which edition we got. The first edition kind of had, I guess, maybe subpar components. So hopefully we got the second edition, but we'll see which one we got. Alright, see if we can get that to stay up. It may fall over since it's very, very light, but we'll check it out. Oh, it looks like we got a decent game board here. So I think we may have got the second edition, which is awesome. With the better components. So, rulebook is pretty thick. Thicker than I thought it would be. It's like an 18-page rulebook here. Front cover is the same as the box art. It's kind of got like a retro feel to the box art, which is kind of interesting. Just put that down for now, so it's not going to stay up. So check out our rule book here. Table of contents, components, victory and defeat setup. So it gives you your goals for the game. And that's pretty much the board here. Not the greatest artwork, but you know, it's definitely functional. And all right, so you can hire workers in addition to your doctors to help your like nurses and other staff to help you. So it's got life and death. So illness levels here. So it looks like number 1 is just symptom. 1 cube is symptoms. 2 is stable. 3 is failing. 4 is critical, and 5 is dead or in a coma. If you're in an OR or in the ER, and 6 plus is definitely dead. So you're going to want to try to save your patients here and gain prestige and money. So you have a chaplain you can hire to perform miracles, or help cure, and chief of finance officer is available. So you have a bunch of doctors and like a hotel administrator, which you're going to hire in order to help you out. So there's your waiting room and triage and stuff where the ambulances come in. They go into the waiting rooms, and then you have to admit them into your wards. Alright, so, and then here are the different ward abilities that you're going to have. Some good, some bad. And then there are the different operating rooms that you can purchase, and other rooms you can also purchase. So mostly text and a few examples here. And hiring staff, office hiring markers, parking lot hiring markers, assigning parking lot staff. Don't remember that. But. And then here are the different doctors, administrators you can hire. Can't really see them that well, but you have Minister Pinchpenny, Administrator Ballyhoo, Administrator Morebucks, Administrator Daring, Administrator Duranger. So it looks like 5 of those. And then you have your dying is easy, comedy is hard. So it definitely has a sense of humor in this game. And then I think your solo modes in here. You have a tutorial game, easy game, standard game, hard game, and challenging game. So, and then in the back here is a nice overview of the play sequence. So you have the ambulance phase, player phase, housekeeping phase, and then the different action tokens and what they mean. The different staff you can hire. What the different tokens mean and everything. Training you can get. And then an overview of the patient levels right there. So that's it. That's your rule book there. And this is really nice. I know in the previous copies of this, they had it was very thin cardboard for the player board. But this, thankfully, has a nice folding, thick, regular player board, which is nice. So you have your ambulances, which come in over here. Your patients go into the different wards up here. So you have your yellow, which is infectious disease. Your gray, which is psychiatric. Internal medicine is green. Cardiology is red. And trauma center is blue. And above that, you have your graves and everything here. So if you have to pay if you're increasingly more as your patients die. So you want to obviously avoid that. You have your job line, so new staff will be coming out to hire, based upon your prestige level, I believe it is. Money above that, money track, and then above that is your prestige track, and a little thing on the training pool, and then on the left and on the right, looks like you can. That's where you put your expansion, like your OR and ER and all that psychiatric ward, padded rooms and stuff like that. So your different rooms that you can develop. So your ambulance is left triage and right triage, and the draw pile where you pick your ambulances out of. So the security thing, I didn't notice this in the last in the playthroughs I've watched. I'm not sure if it was on it or I just didn't notice it, but looks like you can hire security staff to help you out. Not sure exactly what that does. So, all right, so that is the player board there. So I don't really have to wait until the end. Normally I wait till the end to show you the whole board, but the whole board basically fits in the camera shot here. So that is your player board. So here are your tokens. Definitely nice tokens here. Nice thick cardboard. So you can see that, but definitely nice thick cardboard, which I think is an improvement on the original. Was very thin, also kind of like Ravensburger thin. If you ever get any Ravensburger games, generally their components are very thin. But in Victory Point games, had been known a lot for their subpar components, but looks like they've improved them here, which is nice to see. If you're going to pay a lot for a game, you definitely want decent components. So very, very nice components here. And these are the training tiles, the green ones. Now hiring are the red ones. And then on the back, those are all the different abilities there. So I don't remember all these tokens here, like for your staff being this nice. So that is a nice improvement there. And then these things go into on the patients in the different wards, ERs, and different rooms that you can do. But yeah, it looks like they upgraded the components in the versions I've watched on YouTube anyway. So that's nice to see. And then one more, it looks like right here. So these are your beds right here. So in order to go into a ward, you have to have at least a level 2, actually, to be admitted into a ward. So this is just the thickness here. So 1 and 2s are in the backs of each other, and 3 and 4. So, and there's your chief of staff pin token. The different tokens that the doctors will get. And then it looks like some coins here. So I think these are for the trackers for the money and for the prestige. But yeah, these are the tokens that the doctors will get for their actions. So it looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So maybe you get. I thought you hired like 5 doctors, maybe only 4 or 5, but we'll see as we go through them. So there you go. So just 2 of those. And you have a couple big thing of cubes here, which you'll be pulling these out of a cup. And the ambulances will be delivering these. And these, again, are going to be your patients. Again, I went over those 5 different colors for the 5 different wards they go into. And that matches here. Now, the black cubes can be both good and bad. Mostly they're bad. You don't want to draw them because every time you draw a black cube, when the ambulances come in, you have to draw 2 more cubes. So it gives chances for patients to get worse. I think the only thing I've seen black cubes be good at, well, also when you're doing rounds, if you pick a black cube, you have to draw 2 more cubes out of it, because you don't want to match colors when you're doing rounds, because that means the patients get worse. But when you are trying to cure people, you especially don't want to get the black cubes, because they make the patient get worse, and they offset any healing that you do. The only thing, the good thing is like about the black cube is, I think if you hire the chaplain, that'll perform a miracle on them. So mostly bad, but some good. So there you are. There are all your cubes, which you'll put in a cup and draw them. A couple of baggies right here for all your punch outs and everything. And then finally, looks like ambulance cards and then your room cards. So we'll go through these pretty quick, and that is pretty much going to be it. There's not much in here except this insert. Nothing below it. So I guess it does fit in the whole box, so I can see why they did it thinner box here. So makes sense in this case. They didn't waste a bunch of space. And there is a mini expansion. I think it's like the nurses expansion. It's not a very big expansion and kind of hard to find from what it looks like. But that's the only expansion that ever came out for this so far, and probably will be the only expansion. But game seems fun. Doesn't really need an expansion. Seems fun enough as it is, but usually more content is better, but sometimes not. So alright, so these cards are definitely... Ooh, got some ink on my hand, so gotta be careful here. Which I'll definitely sleeve these cards, but not much, not a very high quality on the cards, I must say. I don't know where all this ink came from. Anyway, I think I was using dry erase yesterday, so that might be it. Alright, so these are your ambulance cards. Just basically, these are on the back, and then these are the sides, so it tells you how many cubes you're going to draw. But they have like funny little sayings on here, or different markings. They didn't really have anything to do with the ambulances, but they'll kind of give a reason why you're drawing extra cubes. So, again, these are not my favorite part of it. I think the artwork on these is not very good. They could have had some better artwork on this, I would have thought. But a bunch of draw 7s, and you have some draw 6s. So I'm not sure why mirror speaking from hospital steps would increase, well, it would have a draw rate of 6, so not really sure. New parking garage, maybe easier to get in, I don't know. So some of the easier ones are, I think 5 is the lowest one it goes. So yeah. So these might be not so many, because the food is bad, or the, I don't know. Oh, jeez. Procurement corruption, so these are probably reasons why people aren't coming as much. Oh, there are some 4s in here. Nurses strike, body parts trafficking. So there is a sense of humor to this game. So those are those, and then here, these are going to be your administrators. So Administrator Ballyhoo, I've seen her played in a playthrough. So she can assign priority status on a treatment, like for VIP patients, or she can fire a doctor and you have to hire a new one. So I think you start with, it's either 4 or 5 doctors and an administrator. This is Administrator Daring. So these are his abilities. Usually they have 2 abilities. This guy looks interesting. Move cubes from one patient to another. That's kind of weird, but okay. Or set a color cube to treat a different color for the remainder of the round. So you can, oh, that's kind of neat. And then Administrator Moorbucks, finance expert. So he's a mad scientist. This guy is a risk taker, and she is a public relations person. So she is a finance expert. So you get discounts on building rooms, changing ward policies. That's kind of a neat thing. So if you get one you don't like, you can she can change it for you. And then Administrator Pinchpenny, which kind of is a logistics expert. So you can move cubes from a triage or assign all staff tokens at once. So interesting. And here are your doctors. Dr. Aorta, of course, is a cardiologist specialist. So she has abilities +2 to cardiology patients and build and improve cardiology. Dr. Bunsen, she's good at research, head of medical research. Build and improve research lab for $6. Can use medical actions for research. Okay, I haven't seen this one. Dr. Burns, trauma center, of course. +2 to heal trauma patients. So again, in the replays I've watched, I haven't seen this doctor yet. Build and improve trauma operating center. Dr. Chang, head of internal medicine. +2 to heal internal medicine patients. So they're pretty similar skills, just in different wards. This guy I've seen quite a bit. He's the guy in the box, Dr. Cold. +2 to heal infectious disease, build and improve infectious disease. Dr. Dream, kind of like a was it Grey's Anatomy type doctor, I guess, if you watch that show. I don't really watch it that much, but I'm familiar with it a little bit. And he deals +2 to heal cube patients, so any patients that are in the waiting rooms from the ambulances, and build and improve emergency room for $6. Dr. Smile, chief general practitioner, so she has only a +1, but she gets a +1 to heal any patient, so that's kind of good to have. Build and improve clinic for $6. Dr. Glass, she's the head of cosmetic and reconstructive surgery, receives a personal administrative action token and can build a break room for $6. And this guy's funny. The head of pathology, Dr. Lucky, build and improve the morgue for $6 and can hide a body for free. So, sorry. There you go. And Dr. Nowitz, that's a funny one, chief psychiatrist, +2 to heal psychiatric patients and build and improve psychiatric padded room for $6. And then here are some of the rooms. So cardiology room, break room, clinic, emergency room, infectious disease, internal medicine, and here's the morgue. I guess this goes with, Dr. Lucky can build this cheaper. Hides 2 bodies for cheap. Psychiatric, like padded room here. Definitely not politically correct, but research lab, trauma center, and there you go. So that is it. That is what's inside the box for Healthy Heart Hospital. Again, it has a really robust solo mode, so I definitely want to try that out. I don't think you can play it competitively. It has to be a cooperative game, so sometimes it can be very hard to win the cooperative game in this. But I definitely look forward to trying this out. Should be good for some laughs too. So that is it. That is Healthy Heart Hospital by Victory Point Games, and I don't think I mentioned the creators here. It looks like it's a couple here, Scott and Anne Marie Nelson. So thank you for joining me. It's been Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Our game group is doing well, and we definitely welcome this game to our gaming group on Wednesday nights and Saturday afternoons here at the Higher Ground Tutoring Office. So take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next Healthy Heart the next unboxing video. We have Or the Mining Game probably up next, which we just got in. And we just did a pre-order for Aura and Labora, which is an older Uwe Rosenberg game, which we had been out in print, but they're doing a reprint of it, and we should be getting that at the end of March, beginning of April, from our local game store, Game Nights. We pre-ordered it there. So that is it. So take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye now.